On June 6, 1944, dawn broke over the English Channel, revealing a sight that would alter the course of history. From a concrete casemate at Pointe du Hoc, Lieutenant Walter Alm, of the German 352nd Infantry Division, peered through his rangefinder. The horizon, typically an empty expanse of sea, was now a solid mass of silhouettes. 5,333 Allied ships, the largest naval armada ever assembled. His rangefinder, designed to measure distances up to 10,000 meters, was useless. The ships stretched far beyond. A metallic, motionless sea teeming with purpose. Alm's single-line message to the 7th Army Headquarters at 0537 captured the moment's gravity. Sea horizon completely occupied by enemy ships. Within an our communications collapsed, and the view from those bunkers marked the end of fortress warfare and the rise of industrial invasion. The German effort to fortify the Atlantic Wall had been monumental, but incomplete. Since 1942, engineers from Organization Todd poured 6.5 million cubic meters of concrete, their mixers and drills echoing along Normandy's cliffs. Hitler's directive of March 23, 1942, envisioned an impregnable barrier from Norway to the Pyrenees, but by June 1944, only 15% of planned fortifications stood ready. Normandy, deemed less likely for invasion than Calais, received scant attention. Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, inspecting in April, warned Oberkommando der Wehrmacht, "The enemy must be destroyed on the beaches. We will not get a second chance." Germany's 38 divisions in France, with only 10 facing Normandy and ammunition for just 7 days, underscored the vulnerability. Allied intelligence, through reconnaissance flights and resistance networks, mapped every defensive gap with precision. The German High Command placed faith in concrete, constructing firing positions, observation posts, and underground storage. Artillery nestled in reinforced casemates, millions of mines littered beaches, and steel obstacles, metal crosses, wooden stakes, concrete pyramids awaited landing craft. But time, labor, and materials ran short. Workers, many conscripted from occupied territories, toiled slowly under Allied bombings. Supplies dwindled, diverted to the Eastern Front or bombed factories. Coastal batteries lacked ammunition, communication lines faltered, and radar stations operated without backup power. While Germany poured concrete into static defenses, the Allies built 6 million tons of mobile shipping, flexible, relentless, unstoppable. In British ports, Operation Overlord took shape. Overhead cranes loaded M4 Sherman tanks onto landing ships at Portsmouth. Dock workers moved with practiced efficiency every minute. Critic, the operation demanded 1,213 warships, 4,126 landing craft, 2,395 transport ships, and 1.5 million troops. Planners calculated needs down to meals, fuel, and ammunition boxes. Liberty ships, each carrying 10,800 tons, rolled off American shipyards every 42 days, some, like the Robert E. Peary, in just 4 days. 2 artificial harbors, Mulberry A and B, built from 115 massive concrete caissons, would shelter unloading operations. Allied logistics demanded 12,000 tons daily to sustain the invasion, a figure Germany could not hope to counter. By May 1944, U-boat sinkings dropped to 100,000 tons monthly, while Allied construction outpaced losses. Southern England became a vast depot, roads clogged with convoys, and entire regions sealed for secrecy. A light deception, codenamed Fortitude South, kept German attention on Calais. Dummy landing craft filled Thames estuaries, inflatable tanks dotted fields, and false radio traffic suggested a massive force opposite Calais. German reconnaissance saw empty ports, clouded by weather or Allied jamming. On June, Lima General Friedrich Dollmann reported no signs of imminent invasion, citing unsuitable weather. Rommel left for Germany, believing the storm would delay any assault. German naval patrols, limited by fuel, stayed in harbor. Meanwhile, 5,000 Allied vessels departed under storm clouds. Paratroopers boarded C-47s, and infantry waited with 70 pounds of gear per man. The crossing began in darkness, minesweepers clearing lanes, destroyers forming screens, battleships trailing. German radar, jammed by Allied electronic warfare, saw only false returns from aluminum chaff. By midnight, operators reported malfunctions, unaware they were blind. At 0530, The sound of invasion grew a low rumble, swelling to a roar. RAF Lancasters, and USAF B-17s, and B-24s, 2,180 in total, dropped 5,000 tons of bombs on coastal defenses. Villages shook, windows shattered, but post-strike analysis revealed only 10% of targets destroyed. Cloud cover and smoke scattered bombs inland, leaving casemates like Mazy batteries, 155mm guns intact. Yet the psychological impact was undeniable. German defenders knew they faced overwhelming force. As dawn revealed the armada, naval formations approached in precise order. Task forces for Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juneau, and Sword Beaches. 7 battleships, including USS Texas and HMS Warspite, led with 14 and 15-inch guns, followed by 23 cruisers and 105 destroyers. Weather challenged the fleet. 20-knot winds, 4-foot swells, but coxswains held formation. At 0458, HMS Bulldog logged the French coast, a dark line against the lightning sky. German radar, crippled by jamming, offered no clarity. Elm's rangefinder counted ships beyond its limit. His message to headquarters, the last coherent report before communications collapsed. The naval bombardment began with salvos from 30,000 meters. Battleships fired 250 to 300 shells per hour. Cruisers and destroyers, adding rapid-fire support. German artillery responded, but smoke, spray, and optical limitations reduced their hit rate to 6%. USS Corrie sank, but most Allied vessels pressed on, their fire directed by spotting aircraft and radar. German gunners, isolated by severed lines and jamming, fired blindly at map coordinates. By 0700, observation became impossible amid artificial fog of smoke and dust. At 0630, landing craft hit the beaches. LSAT's grounded ramps dropped, and Sherman tanks rolled ashore. By noon, 30,000 men and 2,500 vehicles landed, with 10,000 tons of supplies delivered despite rough seas. German resupply to Normandy totaled just 2,000 tons daily, crippled by bombed rail lines and fuel shortages. Allied logistics, backed by undersea pipelines and prefabricated harbors, sustained a flow Germany could not match. Engineers cleared obstacles, medics set up aid stations, and supply depots grew faster than troops could distribute. German command faltered. Rommel, in Germany, sought to return as reports trickled in. Panzer reserves, controlled by Hitler, waited until 1,000 hours for approval. Too late to counter the secured beachheads. Allied signals intelligence, decrypting Enigma, tracked German confusion in real time. By noon, only 18 of 59 German batteries maintained communication. The 7th Army's war diary noted, "No clear situation. Enemy strength unmeasurable." Allied commanders, aboard HMS Logs, coordinated with clear VHF radio and radar, directing fire and reserves with precision. By D+6, June 12, the Allies landed 326,547 troops, 54,186 vehicles, and 104,428 tons of supplies. German divisions dropped from 39 to 22, with 5 effectively destroyed. Allied air forces flew 11,590 sorties on D-Day, the Luftwaffe just 355, a 33-1 disparity. P-47s and Typhoons hunted German columns, destroying 195 tanks by June 7. Naval gunfire shattered counterattacks, like the 21st Panzer Division's failed advance toward Sword Beach. Oberkommando der Wehrmacht admitted enemy enjoys complete mastery of air. Counterattack impossible. The Atlantic Wall, a symbol of German defense, stood hollow. Bunkers remained, but defenders withdrew, died, or surrendered. By August, Paris was liberated, and Allied armies reached the Siegfried Line. Germany's retreat left behind shattered equipment and morale, crippled by fuel shortages. Allied production at 8,000 tanks, 300,000 aircraft, 2.7 million trucks overwhelmed Axis capacity. One nation, the United States, outproduced the entire Axis while sustaining civilian life. Lieutenant Alm survived, his rangefinder now in a French museum. Pointe du Hac's casemate stands as a memorial, visited by tourists who imagine that horizon of ships. The bunkers, rusting and weathered, mark not German defeat but the futility of static defense against industrial might. They witness the triumph of democratic resolve. Factories, shipyards, and citizens who built 5,333 ships, each a testament to voluntary sacrifice. Above Omaha Beach, 9,387 white crosses stand in silent rows, each a life given for liberation. The beach below, now peaceful, hosts families where obstacles once stood. The bunkers, blind to the sea, saw the dawn of industrial warfare, where logistics, not fortresses, decided victory. They remind us that free nations, united in purpose, wield unstoppable power. Democracy's strength, its factories, its people, its shared conviction, proved stronger than any wall. The lesson endures. No fortress can withstand a free people's resolve to defend liberty.